want to talk about, y'all. One thing I want to talk about real quick. It is very important, man. It's very important to realize that the internet is not real life. And I know it's completely random. I know this is like where this comes from, whatever. What I mean by you guys stay off the internet is that it's crazy. If you go through the comment sections of YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, probably TikTok. I don't use TikTok like that, so I don't know, probably TikTok. There's always arguments, right? There could be a positive post about something. A positive post, or just a lighthearted post about something, you know, a father and his daughter just doing something, right? And there's always negative comments, right? And there's cases where somebody does something immoral, right? Or just like an immoral lifestyle and is blessed, right? Has a lot of cars, a lot of money, and just in general things like that, right? And they always thank God, right? They always thank God for it. And it might not be more, right? And you may try to compare yourself because of that. You try to compare yourself where it's like, man, like, how is this person getting this? They're doing this and they're getting this, but my life is this, right? And I had to tell myself this the other day. I saw a comment that said this. I wish I could find it. I wish I could find the picture, the screenshot I did, but I don't think I have it anymore. When it came to, and obviously I was just a kid back then, but back in the 2000s, before the internet was really a big thing, because back when I was a kid, like in the 2000s, early 2000s, the internet was there. Don't get me wrong, the internet was there, but there wasn't too much at the time, right? YouTube was 2005, so it wasn't really a big thing at the time yet. MySpace was just a new thing at the time. There's AOL. It was dial-up connection. It was dial-up connection. So internet was so slow that the main thing it was for was like instant messaging. Even loading a picture would take forever. But real life was real life, right? And I was talking to my girl about this the other day. We saw an image. It was like a group of guys, and they were hanging outside an In-N-Out parking lot. They came in a car, but they're outside an In-N-Out parking lot, and they're sitting in the parking lot next to the car. They're sitting in the parking lot just talking. None of them had phones. And they were just sitting there talking. And it made me think, like, wow, back then, man, cause it's crazy to think about, because it wasn't that long ago, but nowadays you can't even be in a social setting, like in a group of people, and like going out somewhere without people being on their phones, right? I remember the last time I went out to eat with my family, right? There's literally my immediate family went out to eat. It was some event, whether a holiday or somebody's birthday, something like that. We went out to eat, and I had my phone down, and I was looking around, right? Because I wanted to peep, and everybody's on their phones. Everybody's on their phones, right? And it's crazy. I'm like, wow, the world's gotten to a point where we can't even be off our phones. We can't even just sit down and have conversations. You know, social media has influenced us so much where we can't even sit down and just be relaxed. And that's not only in social settings, but also with ourselves. You know, within ourselves, we can't even just sit down within ourselves and just be off of our phones. You know, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm better than everybody. Like I struggle. I have the same issues. I'm saying this as far as a collective, as like people, as us like people. You know, back then I used to hang out with my friends, and none of us were on our phones, man. Like, obviously we had phones, but whenever like we hang out, we talk about stuff, man. We talk about life. we won't be on our phones like that unless like we're doing something fun and we post. Back to me using Snapchat. If we're doing something fun, we post stuff, we post each other or whatever. Like that's different. But like as far as talking, we put our phones on the table and we talk. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it be, man. So I don't know, man. It's the fact that man, it's just people's lives are just on the internet, man. Like people who are just home most of the time. And I'm not even just saying like unemployed people. I'm saying most people in general. Like maybe not if you work from home. Because if you work from home, then you're working obviously. But like people who are just like in the house, right? They'll be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, these other websites so much that they'll be entrapped in news articles, YouTube drama, and comment sections, right? To where they start to think that the internet is the real life. They see all this stuff on YouTube comment sections, people arguments, this and the third, right? People posting this and that. They start to think that that's real life. But I promise you, if you go outside, and it just even goes to like the corn, right? People think that these pixels are actual people, right? They think that these are actual relationships and all that stuff, right? But obviously it's fake, right? But if you put down your phone, go outside, go to the park. I mean, maybe not now, like here it's winter, right? It's cold outside. But I'm saying the spring, summer, whatever. If you go to the park, right? Put your phone in your pocket, right? Put your phone in your pocket. It's walk in the park. I promise you, what you see, the internet, people being weird and negative and stuff like that. That's not how it is in real life. I'm not saying that there's not negative people in the world, right? And just walking around, just people who are the way you see in the internet. I'm not saying not people that's that way in real life, right? Don't get that twisted. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying don't go outside thinking that everybody you see in the comment section is who you're gonna see in real life, right? Majority of the people who are weird on the internet, you don't even go outside. And I'm not saying that just to be mean or anything like that. I'm just being real, right? The people you see like that probably aren't even outside much. They're at home. They don't talk to people much. Besides if it's on Discord or like social media. You know what I'm saying? And on another note, back to the note I was talking about people comparing themselves, right? They see people who do immoral things, have a lot of money, whatever, and then they're thinking God, like God did, like the whole God did thing, right? People will see them do this stuff, right? And be like, man, how are they doing this? That's not right. And getting all this money and stuff like that. And I'm not, I'm struggling, right? And I'm guilty of this. The other day, this is why I bring it up, because the other day I was feeling this way, and I had to think about it, right? And you have to realize the internet is not real life, right? As far as that aspect goes as well, because people post on the internet. I'm not gonna say fake stuff, right? But I'm gonna say they show what they want to show on the internet. And JB, we had talked about this the other day in our call, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever call we had. We talked about this. People on the internet put up an image. They post the positive stuff, right? You see all this money, doing all this, that, and the third. They're getting these girls, this and that, whatever the case may be, right? Cars, right? But they don't post the negative. They don't post the depression. They don't post the actual truth to the money they have, There's a chance they still have a lot of money in their accounts. There's a chance they don't, and they're trying to pump an image, right? Chance their credit score is messed up. But they're not going to show that because they have an image to uphold. So when you think that the internet is real and you see all this, you're really gonna think that life isn't fair, because you're like, man, like I'm doing everything right, like I'm doing everything like God wants me to do, the commandment, I'm doing everything, and nothing's happening, right? You gotta realize, man, you can't compare your life to other people's lives. You think God has the same exact plan for everybody? That is not the case. God has a plan for every single person, a specific, unique plan to every single person, right? Every person has to run their own race, right? Run your own race. Just because someone else that you went to school with is having success, or at least appearing to have success, doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. As long as you're praying, you're doing everything that, you know, saying you're listening to God, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, God's going to take care of you. God's going to lead you in that direction, right? If you're falling off, if you feel like you're in the wrong direction, if you turn back to God and ask, like, God, am I doing the right things? God, like, if you ask God to take control of your life every single day, God's going to lead you in the right path, as long as you listen, right? As long as you listen to what He says, He's going to lead you the right path. If you're starting to slip off, as long as you pray to Him and be like, you know, God, take control of my day. If you're leading in the right path, you're going the wrong way, God will steer you back this way, right? And as long as you listen, you will go back in the right path. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you're doing immoral stuff, if you're doing things against God, you think God's gonna, you know what I'm saying? You think God's really going to keep going in the right direction? Which in a way, if you think about it, it's your own fault, because God's trying to lead you in the right direction, saying you gotta do this, you can't do this, you gotta do this, and you're going against, like, I feel like doing this, I'm not gonna listen. So, yeah, man, run your own race. Because y'all gotta realize, man. Y'all gotta realize, if social media was not a thing, I probably should have been recording this the whole time. I'll just cut the stream uploads. When social media wasn't a thing, the only things you had to see were the people around you, movies and TV shows, and like magazines and news articles. That's it. There was no social media where you see new posts every minute on the minute, every single day, about different people. You don't see comment sections judging people on their life. People could be posting positive things, like even posting something about God, right? Posting something about God on your Instagram or story, whatever. People who don't believe in the Lord, negative comments, negative this, right? Negative that, negative that, and the third, right? Y'all just got. This is why it's important just focus on you and yours, man. Focus on you and your life. Focus on your family. Focus on your friends, right? As long as it's a positive focus, right? If you're focused on this, be like, oh, what they're doing, like, yeah, they're doing this wrong, like, I'm gonna judge them, right? If you're doing that, just judge. Just don't focus on them, man. Focus on the people around you to help benefit them, right? If they need prayer, right? Pray for them, right? But just focus on yours. Focus on you and yours, man. Because if you focus on you and yours, you realize you'll be a lot less stressed, man. Because social media is just stressful in general, man. Because after being entrenched in so long, just scrolling through YouTube videos and drama and comment sections, you start to get a negative mindset because these comments are negative. But if you take a break and just kind of turn off the technology for a little bit, and then just look around, focus on real life, man, you're gonna realize that life is a lot better than it seems on the internet. That's a promise.
Check out The Apprentice's Discord and Telegram to talk to like-minded men like you and get support and accountability. Link in the description.